objected to that dual relationship were going to turn in their marriage licenses and refuse to perform any weddings because they didn't feel they could reconcile the relationship between marriage, church, state, because it's a complicated bit of business.
Yeah.
You might argue that historically it was the state that had usurped the power of power over marriages, or you could say that the state condoned what the church was already doing, and there's arguments to be made in both directions, and now we're caught in this odd relationship in which the state defines marriage in one way, in some states, and the church, some churches define marriage in other ways. And what we're trying to do in the Presbyterian Church is walk a wavy line between those.
Okay. What?
If I may, before we move on, just one more thing that I should add that I forgot is that in Judaism there is absolutely no requirement that a rabbi be present to marry you at all. It's a contract between the two people and it's witnessed.
That's right.
That's all.
That is as it should be.
It's
really like
you need
that.
4 friends, 4
It is
sisters.
between two.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Wow.
In the Baptist Church in Atlantic Canada, when I say Atlantic Canada, including Newfoundland, PEI, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia, no. In the Baptist Church. And then they resolved that the justice of peace can do that instead of church minister. Yeah.
Would you like to see that change?
Pardon me?
Would you like to see that change?
I can change that.
No, but would you?
I like it if you could.
What?
If you could change it, would you?
But I know that I can't because of the authority, as you said, the authority is there. And even some pastors now, they say that what if the government compare a Baptist minister to perform same-sex marriage,
Yes.
then they will give up their certificate. That because we need to separate the church and the states. And that has been for ages. We don't mingle that. Yeah, we don't mingle that. But if the government compare you to do that, then some ministers are even ready to give up their ministerial duty because of their conscience.
So how would you, can I ask you a direct, you don't have to answer this, but I am now wondering, you as just a person, never mind the fact that you're a minister, if you could do that, how do you feel about it personally? Like, is there a bunch of pastors in your church that feel that maybe we should do this? I don't know if I'm wording it kind of correctly.
Well, in Atlantic Canada Baptist as of now,
Yes.
that I know,
Oh, so you have to just follow.
no minister
Yeah.
we do that. The reason being this, because our headquarters is in St. John's, and when you do that, then your credentials will be revoked. Period.
I think, Baba, she's asking, are these conversations happening
Yes.
between
Thank you.
Christians of different denominations?
Okay, when you are talking about different denominations, I don't know. But I only know about Baptist because they are very, very conservative. Now, when I moved to Calgary, Alberta 8 years ago, after I completed my doctorate at Acadia, so I left Windsor, Nova Scotia, because my children said, Dad, come to Calgary, a big city, big opportunity. But when I moved in there, I sent out my resume. Three biggest United Church in Alberta, they invited me for an interview. This is my own personal experience.
Yeah.
And then they promised me fabulous amount of salary with all the attachment. And I accepted that. But they said with one clause, would you like to marry same sex? And I said, no, I am not comfortable personally. But if the church wants to do that in my church, then they can invite another pastor who would like to do that. I have no objection to that. It's not discrimination or hatred, but my own personal preference. I am not comfortable because I have to judge my conscience with what the Word of God truly teaches. All right? So, but I gave them that opportunity. Yes, you can invite another pastor who is comfortable to do that at my pulpit. But they said, well, because you are not going to do that, we are not going to employ you. And I said, that's fine. That's fine. But I have to live with my conscience.
Yes, we all do.
Because I don't want to carry the guilt.
I think that answers it. I think there were a few more. Would you mind?
In the United Church in Trenton, well, I should say that a minister in the United Church of Canada does not marry as he or she wishes or chooses to marry.
Mm.
It is a decision of the session or the elders of the church.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been left in the case of same-sex marriage to each individual congregation. Now, there's been quite a sea change in an awful lot of United churches without profound and prolonged studies. And when I was in Sydney, I had to decline because we hadn't taken a formal reading of the session or the elders at that time. Here, it hasn't been raised as an issue, but but I have talked to different elders and have my own impression after being there 3 years. There would be no issue, so it could well be referred a couple to Trenton United.
Okay.
Stacy.
I'm not aware of any other churches other than United Congregations in Pictou County that perform same-sex marriage. And not, as you're saying, not every United Congregation may do that, but I'm not aware of any other denomination outside of the United Church of Canada locally that will perform same-sex marriage. But to answer your question, I think that this conversation, I know, this conversation is happening amongst Christians.
Yes.
Very, vociferously. We're fighting with each other, we're taking each other on, we're losing friendships, some of us.
Exactly.
We are, there are those who are, most people are still of the traditional view that homosexuality, the practice of homosexuality is a sin. Many Christians feel that way, and they have a theological standpoint that they think supports that.
Yes.
Others of us no longer hold that view, and we have a theological standpoint that supports that. And so we're doing this. And I think what will come out of it eventually...
Best of Jewish discussion traditions.
I think what will come out of it eventually will be good, and will be stronger, and will be better, and will be more inclusive. But we're not there yet. And so just
things move slow.
Just think of us.
Okay.
Think of us in the fight, because it's important. It matters.
Yeah.
So I have a question, maybe as a last call before we wrap it all up and move towards calming ourselves back down afterwards in a bit of meditation. Considering that a lot of congregations, I'm pretty sure that's not true for Buddhism. Judaism, I don't think so either somehow. But congregations are getting older and older. Do you sometimes feel like, as Christians in general, that if you don't move with the times, you're drying out?
Well, I can say because again, I remember relatively small group, and we get every year we get like a few university students because we're on down. My group's on Dalhousie campus, so we lure in new students, and like a lot of religious studies class comes to sit with us just to learn. And, we pick a few people as time goes on. But for the most part, the regulars are older. And, it's not the most exciting. If you've never been to a Zen practice, basically you come in, you stare at a wall for an hour and a half. It's not exactly hip and happening. Kind of boring and dull. There's not even talking. There's no chant, the chanting's all at the end, so you just sit and stare at a wall for an hour and a half. Nope.
Singing?
The sermon, there's definitely a singing, there's chanting. And there's a discussion every once a month. So it's very quiet and very staring at the wall. I joke to my friends, I'm like, all right, what are you doing this week? I'm like, I'm gonna go stare at the wall for 2 days. It's a retreat. So yeah, I do find it is really hard. I find it's not hard to get attracted, it's hard to keep them. Because they're curious, but it's really hard to get past
They're also very transient.
You know what pains me most was that many ministers are not here today. They should be in this discussion because this is how we know what other people are going through, what can we do collectively or individually to assist those who are struggling, because we need to be inclusive. We have to do that. God made us, whether you are black or purple or white, we are one. Nobody created us outside the authority of God. It's God Himself. Why can't we accept one another? That is my big question. And
So
that is
then
why.
why cannot the Baptists
That's-
perform same-sex marriage?
Yes,
Pardon me?
that would be
Why then cannot the Baptists perform same-sex marriage?
Okay.
Or any other?
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
that is what I preach on my pulpit.
To be all-inclusive.
Yeah.
And in God's.
Yes.
Yes, I preach that we should be inclusive.
But
But,
you won't marry same sex.
pardon me?
But you said that you wouldn't marry same
No,
sex.
I won't.
But that doesn't
That's
seem
not
very
all-inclusive.
Well, but sex is not what unites us, though. Do you think that sex is the one that unites us together? I don't think so. About the safe of our life, of our souls, is what we are striving. Now, but here we capitalize on sex, and then we allow that to separate us. We shouldn't allow that to bring separation from us. We should be united as God's children.
As God's.
God's children.
Yeah.
Yes, instead of discrimination or separation each other. And we should not allow anything to separate us. Because in my church, I even preach, whether you are black or white, you are welcome. No more segregation, no more separation. That is what I preach.
And then I
But
suppose.
now, when people bring a sex or transgender, then we are trying to separate our fellowship, our unity.
Oh, yes, but God.
Okay,
created
but
all
we
of that.
but we shouldn't allow that. That is just a minor thing.
It was not, to me, a minor thing when I went to Bear River,
Okay.
Hillsborough United Church,
Okay.
and they pointed to the balcony,
Uh-huh.
and they told me that we used to call nigger heaven.
Yeah,
Pardon me?
They said
Yes.
our grandparents used to call that nigger heaven.
yep.
Now,
They
what
were
is that?
very, it's where the blacks were welcome to attend worship.
But they
in
were
the balcony.
segregated.
Oh,
That was
but that is segregation.
And I think what some people are feeling here is that if these can marry, but this group sitting in the balcony can't marry,
Mhm.
and you yourself feel an objection to marrying them,
Yes,
that there is that kind of separation between the balcony and the floor.
that's right. And then that is the usefulness of the peace, justice of peace. Why bringing that to the judge? No. Why not go to the justice of peace?
I was
To
glad
unite
to,
them.
I was glad to hear you say, I think I heard you say,
Yeah.
that you would welcome, if the Baptist Church decided to condone
Yes.
same-sex marriage and
Yes.
conduct them. And even though you personally don't, but you would suffer another minister to come into the pulpit that you are privileged to occupy and do that?
No, that is in Calvary, United Church.
United Church. not-
Yeah, United Church.
I thought you were saying.
And that
you
is
chose
why
to do that.
they didn't employ me. That is the only clause. They said, because you are not agreed on that, we are not going to give you a job. So I step out.
Yes.
Briefly, I want to talk about
Yes.
the change that I experienced after I left my own career. Yeah, as you know, generally, Korea is a very conservative society. So I have experienced great changes in my understanding of LGBTQ community. So now I greatly appreciate the presence and contribution, the huge contribution of LGBTQ community. But the reason why I made that change was not that I want to be approved or supported by a progressive group of people in the society. I have found that my change was an important way to be faithful to the calling that I have got from God, whom I trust and love. And again, regarding the issue of what can separate us and what can unite us, I understand it's up to one's interpretation, and the interpretation needs to be, tracked and looked into by communal and bigger perspective and opinions, that can be shared among us.
You can see we're on a spectrum here.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I will take that as a beautiful last note and say thank you very much again to all the panel members. And I'm sorry, Donna had to leave early and John had to leave early, but I am hugely appreciated. I think we have a little thank you for all the panel members.
Thank you all.
Thank you also for being a wonderful audience, and I'm really glad. I'm really glad that we've had a lot of inquiries about whether this session is going to be available afterwards. I believe we managed to record most of it. Maybe.
Yes.
We'll see. But if we can figure out the technology, we will absolutely post this online afterwards.
Oh, thank you.
Great and everything.
That is so good. Yeah.
And yes, thank you all for coming. I think if we move the chairs around, or I don't know, I would put Finn in charge now for a bit of covering our stuff.